Ooh, this is a very good one. This is one of my favorites one actually. Well, I have a favorite pet peeve. What is that? Today I will be reacting to your bookish pet peeves. Some of these pet peeves are in Filipino, so I will happily translate them for you. So let's get right to it. When people ask me why I'm reading a book when it has a movie already. Excuse me, you're telling me that my devotion to reading a book is a waste of my freaking time because there's already a movie. Like, why are you reading that? What do you mean? I mean, it has a movie already. Truth be told, I do tend to do this for a specific books like the Selection series. I've heard there will be a Netflix adaptation of it. I will not probably read the books anymore. When somebody scoffs at you for reading in public, with them thinking you're just showing off. You know, I have difficulties with this too when reading in public, or even sometimes, very rarely, reading in school, because some people think it's intimidating for them. Reading books has nothing to do with your intelligence or your social hierarchy or your whatever has to do with inferiority. Cliffhangers. I know this tea right here. But let me tell you that cliffhangers can sometimes be the beauty of a book, as a friend told me. And now that I have been more consumed in reading books with cliffhangers, I have started to appreciate them. At least they give me this kind of adrenaline in regards to the story that the author has just freaking told me, and just cuts it off with something extraordinarily shocking. When my friend borrows a book and gives it back with a plastic cover on it, it's just the thought of putting tape or glue or any kind of sticky substance on your books and wrapping it with a plastic something cover leads for me to think that you have damaged the book more than you ever would if you didn't put the plastic cover on it on the first place. A friend said like, even though that you may damage it in the future, you might still want to understand that this plastic cover will also get extremely dirty, and then if you look at your book, it just looks nasty. Then again, everybody has their own preferences. When somebody borrows my book and opens the book oddly wide, I can do that to my books. I mean, I do that sometimes to my books. Most of all when I get tired of just holding it in such a tiny freaking position, then I sometimes can curve it. But if I see something else doing it, what are you doing to my child? Sweaty hands to the point that it left fingerprints. Like, at this point in time, I should probably use latex gloves. I haven't really thought of using gloves per se. Usually when my hands do get kind of sweaty, I just wash them, soap and cool water, and then eventually it will be okay. When a kind character in the story dies, well, yes, it happens to all of us. The greatest of the greatest, you just suffer in front of your face. That's why we need time to grieve for certain characters that enter our lives, those who are supposed to have the happiest life, even though it's fictional. Because when the character description in the book does not match with my own imagination, happens to me all the freaking time. Before the author gives these descriptions, I already have an image in my mind of who that person looks like. And when I do get the description, it doesn't match, but I don't change my mind. I just keep what I had originally. And I'm not saying there's a pet peeve for me for some sort, but I can 100% understand why this can irritate you, because our imaginations don't seem to sync with what we are reading. The extra paper covering that comes with hardbound books. No wonder when I try to read hardbound books, I always remove that covering when reading them, because I cannot help but by getting them either dirty or folded or any kind of creases or any of the sort. I read somewhere in an article where these dust jackets of hardbound books used to exist just because advertisers just wanted to put advertising on the covers. They were not per se the covers of the books as of today. So people who would buy these books, they would just throw them away because they're just advertisements, right? I hate it when somebody disturbs me while I'm reading. That is the most terrible thing that you can also ever experience as a person who's literally reading a great book at a certain moment where your characters are almost at the point of dying or a kind of scene that you just cannot get your eyes off the page, and then suddenly somebody just freaking interrupts you. I mean, if you are not irritated at any kind of level when that happens, then my goodness, praise to you, because I don't have that discipline. And not putting which number or part of the series it is on the cover or on the spine. You know, if publishers would just do that, then I know many people would have saved so much of their savings from buying the wrong book from the series that they're supposed to read. I mean, is it so difficult to just put like a number 1 or number 2 or whatever on the spine? Deckled edges. Story time. I was in one of the local bookstores here, and I bought the 4th book of the Shatter Me series, which is Restore Me. I bought Restore Me, the hardcover version, and I checked the pages and then they were all ripped, just weirdly ripped. And I was like, did something happen in the publishing factory or something, because these pages are all torn up? And I literally came up to the cashier of that bookstore and then I said, I think there's something wrong with this book of yours because it's ripped at the edges. And then the cashier also was not sure with the situation, so she went to the manager with that book, and I was standing there the whole time. And then the manager, I don't know what the manager did, I think she did a quick research or something like that, and she said to me, it's supposed to be like that. I was still freaking doubtful, but I took the book anyway. I didn't do a refund or some sort. But then half a year from now, I have come to realize that those are called deckled edges. What kind of bookworm am I? Judges a book by its cover. If you haven't been on BookTube lately, a lot of us do that. A lot of book world literally does that. I mean, book cover artists spend so much time decorating and making the book look so very aesthetically beautiful to the eye, and sometimes when you don't even know what that book is about, but just look at the cover, you just cannot stop and appreciate it. And you might not have noticed that you have taken out your wallet and started paying it at the cashier. So happens to all of us. Insta-love. Even though that the story is practically fiction, it just bothers you internally because you know that such things don't really happen. I think, because I don't know anything about that concept anyway. Reading books only based on authors you've read before. This is like an attack from me. I mean, I'm sorry, because I do that. It's just like a safe place when buying books, because you are scared that because you just are very familiar with the writing style and the topics that your author would dive into, then you just stick to that. We human beings, we like being in the state of familiarity, being familiar with things. book to movie adaptations where they enormously change the plot of the story. I mean, it's okay if they would change something so that it can go with the flow in regards to the movie production and it's actually good. It's a good result, but not like this. Not like this. The way they told the story just destroyed everything. The whole purpose of the story, the words of the author are just wiped out. When they change the cover of a book in the middle of a series. I mean, who does that? Oh yeah, publishers. Oh my goodness. Hardbound books in bed. I already experienced a hardbound book hit my face while I was reading it in bed. Okay? I don't want to completely share that traumatizing event of my life. So, I wish they weren't so freaking heavy, otherwise it could have made this world a better place. So I hope you liked this video. I hope this was entertaining, even though I am not an entertaining person because I get so tired of talking so much in front of a camera. Regardless, I keep doing it, right? So there has to be something in it. I am Sakina Vanessa and I'll see you in the next video.